everyone, I'm Jacy from Craft Life, and I'm here today to teach you how to make the large 3D ice cream cone. If you do not have a lot of rubber bands and you would like to make a smaller version of the ice cream cone, I have a video for it, and I'll put a link in the description box below if you would like to check it out. But the supplies you'll need to make this one are 1 rainbow loom, a rainbow loom hook or crochet hook, rubber bands, today I'm using brown and purple. You will also need scissors, and you'll need something to stuff your ice cream cone with. Today I'm using polyfill, but if you do not have polyfill, I heard that cotton balls work great too. But you can use whatever you would like to stuff your ice cream cone. So please get your supplies and we'll begin. To begin, we're going to set up our rainbow loom. So we're going to take out our middle row. Then we're going to take this row and we're going to turn it around so that the arrows point to the left. And then we're going to take out our big blue piece. Now just push this down and we are going to start by laying X's. And we're just going to lay them normally. So we're going to make an X from here to here. And an X from here to here. And notice I'm going on the second peg and not the peg all the way on the end. And you're just going to continue laying X's. And push them down as you go and go all the way to the other end. Now we're at the other end and we're just going to lay a normal X again. And remember, we are ending on this peg and not the peg all the way on the end. Now we are going to make X's from peg to peg all the way down, starting on these 2 pegs, and push them down as you go. Now make sure these are all pushed down and we are going to start laying our rows. So we're just going to go around in a counterclockwise rotation and lay them normally and do not push them down. Now we have a bottom row and a top row, and we're going to bring our bottom loops over the top. So just take them and bring them over. And the end pegs are going to have 2 rubber bands to bring over, and the rest of the pegs are going to have 3 rubber bands to bring over. Now you're going to push your rubber bands down. Now you're going to lay your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation again. Now we have a bottom row and a top row, and what you're going to do is bring your bottom 2 loops over the top on all of your pegs. Now push your rubber bands down. We have just done 2 rows together and you want to have a total of 11 rows. So please do 9 more rows of laying your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation and then bring your bottom 2 loops over the top in a clockwise rotation and push them down as you go. So please do 9 more rows of this and I'll be right back. I just finished my 9 more rows and now I have 11 rows in total, which also means that I finished the cone part of my ice cream. And now I'm going to start my ice cream part, and we're going to make that rolled part right here. And to make that, we are going to lay our ice cream color the same exact way we've been laying the other one. So now we have a bottom row and a top row, and we're going to bring our bottom 2 loops over the top on all of our pegs. So now you're going to push your rubber bands down. So we have just done 1 row, and you want to have 4 rows done for the top, for the rolled part. And you're going to do 3 more rows of laying your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation, and then bring your bottom loops over the top in a clockwise rotation and push them down as you go. So please do 3 more rows of this and I'll be right back. I just did 3 more rows of this part of my ice cream, and now I'm going to hook this off and then put it back on. So we're going to start on this peg, and we need to fix the top and the bottom loops. And we need to take the top loop and switch it to the bottom, and take the bottom loop and switch it to the top. So put the top loop on your finger and put the bottom loop on your hook. And then put the loop that's on your finger down, and then put the loop that's on your hook down. Now we are ready to hook. We're going to start on this peg, and we're going to take the bottom loop and bring it to the peg next to it. Now you can see that was my bottom loop because it hooked the loop behind it. We're going to continue this, so take your bottom loop, bring it to the peg in front of it. I know that was my bottom loop because it hooked the loops behind it. And you're just going to continue checking as you go. Now on your last peg, you're going to stick your hook in, and you're going to grab a rubber band, pull this up through and place it back on, and pull 1 loop through the other, and pull that tight. Now we are just going to take this all off. Now we are just going to stretch it out and roll it. And this is going to be the hardest part, and this is for advanced and expert loomers, because what we are going to be doing is taking the row and we're going to put it back on our loom. And we're going to be using this row, or the row above the brown. And we're just going to put 2 rubber bands on each peg. So we're just going to stick this in the middle, and you can start anywhere you would like. I'm going to start here. And I'm going to grab 2 loops from that row above the brown, so these 2, and I'm going to place them on that end. And I'm going to go down and keep going. So you're going to grab these 2 and place it on. And I just want to show you that if you get that little thing in the middle of it, the little opening in the middle, that is a signal that you have done it correctly. If you do not get that, then you may want to take it off and try again. But I'm just saying that you want to have those between every single peg. See, I have 3 of them now. So just continue. And remember, this is going to be very hard, so make sure you're grabbing in the right row. And if you would like, you can stretch it out and it will be much easier. So you can pull and then grab your loops and put them on. And when it rolls like this, you are going to see 2, and you want to grab the one on the outside, not in the inside. So grab these 2 instead of these 2. So now push this all down, and we're going to start laying rows for the top part of our ice cream. So you're just going to go around in a counterclockwise rotation and lay them normally and do not push them down. Now we have a bottom row and a top row, and we're going to take our bottom 2 loops over the top on all of our pegs. And it may look different, but it is the same, and we're just going to grab them and bring them over. So now you're going to push this down. And we have just done 1 row together, and you want to have 6 rows in total. So please do 5 more rows of laying your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation, and then bring your bottom 2 loops over the top in a clockwise rotation and push them down as you go. So please do 5 more rows of this, and I'll be right back. I just finished my 5 more rows, and now I have 6 rows in total for the top of my ice cream. Now I'm ready to hook this off, and before I do that, you need to take the top loop and switch it to the bottom, and take the bottom loop and switch it to the top on this peg. So we're going to take the top loop, and you're going to put it on your finger. Then you're going to take the bottom loop and put it on your hook. And you're going to put the loop that's on your finger down first, and then put the loop that's on your hook down second. Now we can hook, and we're just going to take the bottom loop on this peg, bring it to the peg next to it, and you know it's your bottom loop if it hooks the loop behind it, and you're just going to continue this. So take your bottom loop, check to make sure that it grabs the loops behind it, and it does, and move on. So now on your last peg, you're just going to stick your hook through it. Grab a rubber band, pull it through those 2 rubber bands, place it back on your hook, and pull one loop through the other. And pull that tight. Now we are going to need to make a chain like this one to sew it up. And all I did here was make a chain, and I used 2 rubber bands each time, and this chain is 10 loops or 20 rubber bands. So to make it, you're going to grab 2 rubber bands, place them on your hook, grab 2 more rubber bands, place them at the top of your hook, pull these through, place it back on, and pull these 2 loops through the other 2 loops, and pull that tight. So we have just connected our 2 rubber bands to each other. Now we're going to take 2 more and do the same thing. Put it on your hook, pull these through, place it back on, and pull these 2 through the other 2, and pull that tight. And you're going to continue this until you have 10 loops done. So far we have 3, and I already have one done, and it is 10 loops long and 20 rubber bands. So now we are going to use this chain to sew up our ice cream cone. So we're going to start on this peg, the peg with the slip knot on it. We're going to stick our hook through both of those rubber bands. Then we're going to pull our chain up until you get to the second loop here. Then we're going to, for the rest of them, stick it up into the rubber bands, grab the chain, and pull it down, and continue. So stick your hook up, and pull your chain down. And make sure you don't pull too much because you don't want it to come out from the other side. So now once you run out of room on your chain, you're just going to take them off your loom, but only take the loops off that are on your chain. And on your last one, be very careful. Now with your chain, you can just pull it so that you have more room, but pull it nice and gently because you don't want this to just break out of nowhere. So now we're just going to continue. So stick your hook up and pull your chain down. So now you can take it off your loom. And don't pull it tight yet because we need to stuff it. So we're going to take whatever we are using to stuff it, and we're going to put it inside. My polyfill is what shapes my ice cream. So I'm going to put a lot at the top, and since I want it more triangular at the bottom, I'm not going to put so much. Now, once you are done putting your stuffing in, you can just pull the chain gently. Now you can tie them together and pull it tight one last time and tie it again. So now you can cut above these two loops here. Where the loops meet, you want to cut above it. And now you can just stuff these inside. And I'm going to put some polyfill on top. Okay, so now we are going to stick our hook onto that slip knot. Then we're going to take another rubber band. We're going to pull it through, place it back on, and pull one loop through the other. Now we're going to stick our hook in across from it and pull this through. And now we're going to stick it next to it, pull this through, and again we're going to go across from it. And just keep sewing it in different directions. Then with this loop, you can just tuck it in. So stick your hook in down here and just pull that loop inside of your ice cream cone. Like that, so it's not shown anymore. Now at the bottom, this is where we are going to shape the cone part. And for this, we are going to stick our hook through all those rubber bands at the bottom there. Like that. We're going to grab 2 rubber bands, place them on your hook, and you're going to pull them through. And I grabbed one extra one, so I'm going to take that off. I'm going to place it back on, and I'm going to pull these 2 through the other 2. And you're just going to pull it tight. So now what we're going to do to tie this off is we're going to stick our hook through some rubber bands there. Grab just one more rubber band, pull this through, place it back on, and pull one loop through the other. And you are just going to tie these 2 to it. You can use your hook to help you if you would like. Now with these loops, you are just going to tuck them inside of your ice cream cone. So I'm just going to stick my hook up to the top here, and then pull these all down. So just hold them and then pull and let go. And now all you have to do is just shape it the way you want it. And you're done. This is what they look like when they're done. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you make some, I'd love to see them. My Instagram is CraftLifeUSA, so please tag me in a photo. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, pin it on Pinterest, and subscribe right here on YouTube. I hope you live in a craft life just like me. Thanks for watching. Bye!